Very good morning, everyone. In this session, we are going to complete the remaining portion which is related with the working of file. In our previous session, we have studied regarding the different types of file modes which is available in the C++. When you are going to open file, at that time you can use different kinds of mode to open particular file. Over here we can use in and out mode to open your file for reading or writing purpose. ATE is a mode which can be used to perform read and write operation at the end of file. You are having one more mode which is called append mode. Append mode is responsible to write the file at the end of file. Trunc is there which can be used when you want to open a file to overwrite. No create and no replace is there. When the file is already existing, at that time it will open the file, but it will produce error if the file does not exist. And no replace is there. Generally it is used to overwrite your file in the write mode. You are having one more mode which is called binary mode. Generally this type of mode is used when you want to open your file in the binary mode. Now you can apply or you can specify more than one mode by replacing pipe sign, or we can say by using bitwise OR operator over here. Now let us start with our today's session. File pointer. There are various types of file pointer which can be used for reading or writing of your file. Over here we have used different kinds of file pointer. We have taken the example of reading mode, mvm space college, that is the content of our file. Now my pointer is on the first position, that is on the M. Right now see, this is called input pointer. Now when you are going to open your file in the write mode, at that time you are going to use output mode. And when you want to append your content, at that time naturally your pointer should be at the end, and you are going to preserve your data and you are going to use output pointer. Now you have 4 different types of function name which can be used: seekg, seekp, telg and telp. These 4 are the functions through which you can get or set the position of input or output pointer. Now seekg and seekp, it is used for the input and output pointer. Generally seekg gives you the get pointer and seekp gives you the put pointer. Get is generally used with the input pointer and put is generally used with the output pointer. Similarly telg is used to tell a get pointer and generally it is used for the current position of input pointer. Similarly telp, tell means to say something, right? So telp means what? It is a put pointer which returns the current position which is based on the output pointer. So this particular topic is important based on the theoretical aspect, and question may be asked in the 5 marks during the theoretical session, right? So listen this particular video carefully. File pointer is nothing but there are 3 pointers which we have used. First is called input pointer, second is called output pointer, and third is called output pointer, but it is in the append mode. This is in the writing mode and this is in the reading mode. I am going to highlight reading mode also. Now there are 4 types of pointer which can be used. One is called seekg, other is called seekp, telg and telp. Now seekg is used when you want to use get pointer and it is used with the input pointer. Seekp used for put pointer and it is generally used for the output pointer. Telg and telp returns the current position of input and output, and it is get and put pointer. Now Here the seekg and seekp functions move the file pointer to a specified number of bytes. That means when you want to move into the file, or when you want to move the cursor into the file, at that time you can use two functions, either seekg or seekp. But first of all, you need to check whether the file is opened in the input mode or in the output mode. That you need to check. There are three different kinds of parameters which can be used with the seekg or seekp. Number one, beginning, current and end. Beginning is what? When you want to move your cursor at the beginning of file, at that time that is that can be used by the IOS scope resolution operator, and beginning, and which is by default CUR means the current position of file pointer. That means when you want to see the current position of your file pointer, at that time you can use mode ios.current, and ios.end refers to the end of file. So here we have taken the example of different kinds of file pointer. We have created one file which is called data.txt. We have taken iOS and input mode. So moving the input pointer input pointer at 5th position, how can be possible? So we need to move it from the beginning, and at which position I want to move, that is in the 5th position. So see, we are having input mode over here. So with input mode we can use seekg. See over here, right? So seekg can be used. First of all, from the beginning I want to move at the 5th position. Now f1.telg is there, which says the current position of input pointer. My current position is naturally at the 5. See, this program you can perform in the practical session also, but this is the important program based on the theoretical aspect. That's why I am going to explain in the Word document. Otherwise you can check this program in the practical portion also. So you will get this will set the pointer to the 5th, and telg will tell that my input pointer is at the position 5. Now if I want to move 3 bytes ahead from the current position, so ios.current is there, and 3 position I am going to move. So which is the current position? 5. So now my pointer would be on the 8th position naturally. Let me repeat once again this code. I am going to open one file which is called data.txt. I have opened my file in the input mode. So two functions I can use, seekg and telg. Seekg sets the current seekg sets the pointer position to the specified location. Right now I am going to start with the beginning, and from the beginning my pointer is at the 5th position, right? So when I am going to print my cursor position, at that time it will print input pointer is at 5th position. Now moving the input pointer to 3 bytes ahead. If I want to move to the 8th position, at that time what is my current position? That is on the 5. So after 5, now my pointer is on the 8th position. Now I am going to close this particular file, and I am going to open it into the output mode. Now what happens? I am going to use seekp and telp, because both the function can be used with the output mode. So moving the output pointer position at 10, how can be possible? So for that, the position on which I want to transfer, that position I need to use, and then the beginning. Now minus is there. So minus means what? Moving 3 bytes back. That means when I am going to print this particular line, it will print 7. Why? because my current cursor position is on 10, and at the from the current position I want to move back. So for that 10 minus 3 means 7. So now my current pointer position is at 7. So f1.tlp is there, which is used with output pointer. So remember one thing, when your file is opened in input mode, at that time you can use two functions, seekg and telg. Telg returns current pointer position, seekg sets the current seekg sets your pointer position in the input mode. When your file is opened as a output mode, you can use two functions, seekp and telp. Telp again tells the current pointer position in the output file, and seekp sets the pointer position in the output mode. Over here right now my current position is on the 10, but I want to move 3 bytes ahead, so my current pointer position is on the 7 because I have passed -3 over here and current position is on 10. So 10 minus 3 becomes 7. So my current file pointer position in the output mode would be on 7. So this is called file pointer, which may be asked in the 5 mark. Next is called sequential IO operation, but over here data is going to store in the binary format. So for that what we need to do, we need to create OFStream object. One file name I need to give, that is sample1.txt. So in the C drive, sample1.txt is created. Now I am going to input one number in the variable number array number. So number of 0, suppose 1 I am going to store. So I have two functions using which I am able to input my content in the form of binary in the file, right? So for that o1.write, then character pointer. This is the syntax which you need to follow when you want to write your content in the binary file, right? So over here character pointer ampersand, so that is the address, and then number of I. In the number of I have written number of 0, say for example, because first time the value of I would be 0. So number of 0 contains, say for example, 11. So this 11 is going to store inside the file. Now I need to specify the size of this variable in the form of bytes, so it will store in the memory. Similarly, I am going to close this cursor. Now I want to read the content from the file. So reverse operation I am going to perform. I am going to create the object of ifstream file, then name of file in from which I want to read the content. Now whatever the syntax of this write function is there, that I am going to paste it over here, and over here I just need to use read function, but the object name is of ifstream class, and at last it will print on the screen using cout statement, and at the end I have used i1.close. So using this way you are able to write the content in the file using binary mode. Next is called updating a random access file. Random access file, in the when you want to update any random access file, at that time 4 operations you can perform: adding new content, displaying the content from a file, when you want to modify existing file, or when you want to delete some item from the existing file. So these 4 are the operations which you can perform, or these 4 are the tasks to update random access file. So when you want to update random access file, at that time I have created one class called data. I have declared 2 variables. One is declared as a name and other is declared as a age. 2 functions I have created, one for input and one for output. Naturally, using input function I am able to input data from the keyboard, and using output function I am able to print data on the screen. Now to variable I have taken, data is a class and D is a object. Now we are going to merge all the programs or all the content which we have already discussed in previous video, right? So over here you can easily understand that data is a class and D is the object of that class. Now over here I have created the object of fstream class, so my file would be open in any mode, in, out and at the end mode. Now when I want to input two records, at that time I need to take loop and D dot input. So D is the object and input is a method. When you want to write the content into the file, this thing we have already studied in this particular topic, sequential IO operations, right? So this code you can copy and paste it over here, but over here we are going to input object D, right? And we are going to initialize the size of D. Similarly, when you want to display the record, first of all you need to move your pointer using SIG on the first record, and up till your file is read, you want to display the output using D dot output. Again, D is a object and output is a method of this particular data class. Now when you want to update the record of particular file, at that time you need to give the number, so enter number to update. Which record you want to update, that number you need to enter. Now if file is at the end of file, at that time you need to clear the pointer. Otherwise you want to set the pointer position by number -1 into multiplied by size of D. Size of D is nothing but it is a size of object. And now you want to enter new person details using D dot input. Again you need to update your file. For that you need to use F dot write and new content of file. Now you want to display the record from the file, so again my pointer would be on the 0th position, and this is the function through which I am able to read or I am able to print the output on the screen. And last is called command line argument. This is again the most IMP question which may be asked in the 5 mark during the theory exam. Command line argument is nothing but when you want to get some commands using command line argument, such thing can be possible with the CLA. What is the full form of CLA? Command line argument, which contains two arguments. One is called integer ARGC. ARGC means ARG argument count, and ARGV means the collection of array. Now ARGV of 0, ARGV of 1 and ARGV of 2. So ARGV of 0 contains number, then ARGV of 1 contains odd and ARGV of 2 contains even. So here I have taken the example of command line argument which can be performed on the with the help of command line, right? So over here I have taken two files. One is called source, other is called destination. I am going to open source file. If open is not possible, at that time it will print message that file not found. Destination file I have opened. Suppose again it is not open, at that time cannot create destination file. While source is not at the end of file, at that time it will put content on the destination file. So this is the program using which you are able to copy content of source file into the destination file, but you can only copy the content of your source file to the destination file only if one file is exist. So over here before copying you just need to check that file is available or not, otherwise it will print message on the screen like file not found or cannot create file. Suppose both the file is available, at that time you just need to get the content from source file and you need to put that content into the destination file. So in this way, file is copied from source to the destination. Last is called error handling. During the file writing mechanism, sometimes it may be possible that your cursor is at the end of file. So there are 4 functions which can be used with each other, like EOF, fail, good or bad. Now EOF means what? End of file. It generally returns a non-zero value if the pointer is reached at the end of file during read operation, otherwise it will return 0. Similarly, when you are going to use fail function, at that time it will return non-zero value when input or output operation fails, otherwise it will return 0. Similarly, when you are going to use good function, at that time again it will return non-zero value if no error occurred during last operation, means the operation performed successfully. See, whatever the operations you have performed, that is performed properly, at that time it will return non-zero value, but it will return it will return 0 suppose your operation has failed. There is new function which is called bad. Again it will return non-zero value if an error occurred during last operation, that means an invalid operation was performed on the file, right? So these 4 are the functions which can be used while you are going to handle any error. I am going to repeat it once again. EOF is a function through which you will get non-zero value if your file pointer is at the end of file, otherwise in remaining situation it will return 0. Similarly, you are having fail function, again it will return non-zero value if your file is on the input or output operation, otherwise it will return 0. You are having 2 more functions, one is called good and other is called bad. Good returns non-zero value if no error occurs during the last operation, that means your operation has been performed successfully. The last function is called bad function. It returns non-zero value if any error occurs during the last operation. So that means an invalid operation was tried to perform. So this is the program which is based on error handling. Over here we have taken one file which is on the input mode. In that we are going to write something which will write in the form of binary. We are having one function f1.fail. So this will print success because this will print fail because there is no content inside the f1 object. Similarly, we are having our pointer at the reading mode, or we are having our pointer at the end of file. If this particular file I have not used f1.read, suppose you are going to skip this particular line, at that time it will print end of file. But right now our f1 object is capable to read the file, so it will print reading on the screen. Similarly, 2 more functions we have used over here, f2.open. So suppose sample file is already available, at that time it will print good file, otherwise it will print bad file. So this is all about the working with file in the C++. 2 videos we have placed regarding the working with files. I am going to repeat it once again, that this particular unit we are going to see with the help of theoretical point of view only, because it is important based on the theory exam. So we are not going to see the programs which are related with this particular topic, but yes, it is given over here. So if you want to refer these programs, You can perform it on the lab also, but there is no requirement, as this program is not important based on the practical session. This is just for the reference. I have given the list of programs over here. If you don't want to write this program in the journal, then again it's okay, but in your journal up till the unit number 4, that means the last program is would be written regarding unformatted IO operations. We have performed 5 programs based on the formatted, 4 for the formatted IO operation, 1 for the manipulators, and 4 programs for the unformatted IO operations that you need to write in the journal. If you want to, this is voluntary. If you want to write these programs in the journal, then it's okay, and if you don't want to write in the journal, then again it's okay. So this is all about our today's session. In our next session, we will discuss the theory regarding exceptional handling mechanism. Thank you all.